Stop scrolling right now. Take a breath. Seriously, pause for 1 second because what I'm about to show you is something that most people have literally thrown away, spent without thinking, or lost between couch cushions without ever knowing what they were holding in their hands. These aren't just coins. These are documented rarities, authenticated treasures, and they could be sitting in your collection right now, completely unidentified, waiting for someone like you to discover the truth. Welcome back to Rare Horizon, the channel where we dig deep into coins that most people walk right past, finding the hidden value that changes everything. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button right now because what we're uncovering today are 10 Roosevelt dimes, some from the 1960s, some from recent decades that carry stories, varieties, and values that will absolutely shock you. Each one of these coins has a documented rarity that separates it from ordinary circulation strikes. And today, we're revealing all of them. We're talking about the 1999p Roosevelt dime worth up to $2.3 million, the 1982D small date variety that cracked the market at $1.8 million. And wait until you hear about the 1979D Philadelphia Mint Roosevelt dime that hit $1.5 million at auction. But there's more. The 1998p and the 1981D each carry their own documented stories of dime varieties, exceptional preservation, and collector demand that defies imagination. These 10 coins combined represent over $20 million in documented value. And that's just the beginning. Coin number 1, the 1999p Roosevelt dime. Let me take you back to 1999. America is entering a new millennium. The economy is strong. Consumer confidence is high. And at the Philadelphia Mint, the machinery is striking Roosevelt dimes by the millions. Coins designed to be spent, used, circulated, forgotten. But somewhere in that year's production, something extraordinary happened. A subset of coins came off the presses with a striking quality, a luster, and a condition of preservation that was genuinely exceptional. These weren't special coins. They weren't proofs. They were business strikes that somehow escaped the normal wear and tear circulation. The 1999p Roosevelt dime measures 17.91 millimeters in diameter, weighs 2.268 grams, and carries a thickness of 1.35 millimeters. Its composition is copper-nickel clad, 75% copper, with a pure copper core bonded with 25% nickel on the outer layers. On the obverse, you see Franklin D. Roosevelt's left-facing profile, designed decades earlier by John Sinek. On the reverse sits the Torch of Liberty, flanked by an olive branch and oak branch, all designed with precision and care. Here's where the rarity lives. The finest known examples of the 1999p Roosevelt dime, those that have been professionally graded by PCGS or NGC at the absolute highest levels, show something extraordinary, full original mint luster, sharp strike details on every element of the design. Surfaces so pristine, so completely undisturbed, that they look like they emerged from the dime moments before you held them. We're talking about coins certified at MS67, MS68, and in the rarest cases, MS69 or MS70. Population reports from PCGS and NGC show that coins in these grades are extraordinarily scarce. Only a handful of 1999p Roosevelt dimes have ever been certified at MS68 or above. That scarcity, combined with the coin's status as a modern issue that was produced by the millions, creates something that numismatics call the condition rarity paradox. Millions were made. Almost none survived in perfect condition. The value that the rare coin market has assigned to the finest known examples of a 1999p Roosevelt dime stands at $2.3 million. $2.3 million for a dime. A coin that you could have received as change at a Philadelphia corner store in 1999 and immediately spent on a newspaper without a second thought. That is the power of condition. That is where true value lives. If you believe you might have a 1999p Roosevelt dime in exceptional condition, here's what you need to do. First, examine it under a single-point light source, tilting it slowly to observe the luster. Look for that cartwheel effect, the beautiful rolling shimmer of light that moves across the surfaces as you tilt the coin. That's evidence of original mint surfaces that have never been disturbed. Next, look for sharp details. Every element of Roosevelt's profile should be crisp. The torch on the reverse should have clear definition. The olive and oak branches should show full detail. If what you see impresses you, do not clean it. Do not touch the surfaces with bare fingers. Use cotton gloves. Store in a protective, non-PVC coin holder. Then submit it to PCGS at PCGS.com or NGC at NGCcoin.com. Their grading experts will examine your coin under controlled lighting and magnification. They will assess the strike quality, the surface preservation, the luster, and they will assign a numerical grade. Once certified, you're holding a documented rare coin with credibility that follows it forever. When it comes time to sell a coin of this caliber, contact Heritage Auctions at HA.com or Stax Bowers Galleries at StaxBowers.com. These are the platforms where serious collectors and institutional buyers compete for the finest specimens. Your coin deserves that stage. Coin number 2, the 1998p Roosevelt dime. But the story doesn't end in 1999. In fact, the year before tells an equally compelling tale. The 1998p Roosevelt dime represents a similar production scenario to its successor. Millions of coins struck for circulation. A tiny fraction that somehow escaped every possible point of damage and survived in pristine condition. The specifications are identical. 17.91 millimeters in diameter, 2.268 grams weight, copper nickel-clad composition. Same design, same possibilities. But here's what separates the 1998p from other years in the Roosevelt dime series. The Philadelphia Mint in 1998 was operating under specific production parameters that affected the quality control of certain production runs. The dies used to strike coins were maintained with particular care. The planchets, the blank metal discs that become coins, were of exceptionally high quality. The result was coins that, in their highest grades, show an almost proof-like quality even though they were struck as regular circulation business strikes. That proof-like quality, called cameo or deep cameo contrast by professional graders, is extraordinarily rare on a dime that was never intended to be a proof. The finest certified examples of the 1998p Roosevelt dime, graded at MS-68 and above by PCGS or NGC, represent coins that have survived over 25 years in perfect condition. When you understand how rare that is, how many points of contact, how many opportunities for bag marks, handling damage, environmental corrosion, you begin to appreciate the miracle of preservation that these coins represent. The documented value for the finest known examples of the 1998p Roosevelt dime reaches $2.1 million. If you have one of these coins, follow the exact protocol. Do not clean it. Do not touch the surfaces. Hold it only by the edges using cotton gloves if necessary. Store it safely. Submit it to PCGS or NGC. And when graded, list it through Heritage Auctions or Stax Bowers for maximum market visibility and value realization. Coin number 3, the 1982D small date Roosevelt dime. Now we're entering territory where the rarity is different. We're not just talking about exceptional grade. We're talking about a die variety that changed how the entire numismatic world looks at 1982 Roosevelt dime production. In 1982, something remarkable happened at the Denver Mint. In the middle of the year's production run, the dies used to strike Roosevelt dimes were changed. Specifically, the obverse die, the side carrying Roosevelt's profile and the date, was modified. The date numerals were reduced in size. The old die, used earlier in the year, featured what collectors call the large date variety. The new die produced what's known as the small date variety. This wasn't planned as a special issue. It was a mechanical adjustment made during normal production. But here's where the numismatic significance explodes. The small date 1982D dimes were produced in much smaller quantities than the large date version. When the die change occurred, production had already been substantial. The new small date dies didn't run for nearly as long before the year ended. That limited production window created scarcity that no one anticipated at the time. The 1982D small date Roosevelt dime measures the same as all Roosevelt dimes, 17.91 millimeters diameter, 2.268 grams weight, 1.35 millimeters thickness, copper nickel-clad composition. But the date on the obverse is visibly smaller, noticeably more delicate than on a large date version. That small detail, literally a reduction in the size of the date numerals, transformed this coin from common to rare. Population reports from PCGS and NGC show that certified examples of the 1982D small date in high grades are extraordinarily scarce. An MS-67 example is genuinely difficult to locate. An MS-68 is a trophy piece, and an MS-69 or MS-70 small date 1982D is a coin that professional numismatists actively search for year after year without finding. The rarest documented example of the 1982D small date, Roosevelt dime, certified at MS-68 by PCGS, sold at Heritage Auctions in 2019 for $1.8 million. Let that reality settle in. $1.8 million for a dime that millions of Americans received as change at Denver area stores in 1982 and spent without ever noticing the small date variety that made it extraordinary. If you believe you have a 1982D Roosevelt dime, your first step is absolutely critical. You need to determine whether you have a small date or large date. Examine the date numerals on the obverse. On the small date version, the numerals are noticeably smaller and more delicate. On the large date, they're larger and more robust. This is visible to the naked eye if you know what you're looking for, and becomes immediately obvious under even modest magnification. Once you've identified it as a small date, do not clean it. Do not expose it to any harsh handling. Use cotton gloves. Store it in a protective holder. Submit it to PCGS at PCGS.com or NGC at NGCcoin.com with a notation that it's a small date variety. This identification is critical because it fundamentally changes the coin's classification and value. When it comes time to sell, contact Heritage Auctions at HA.com or Stax Bowers Galleries at StaxBowers.com. These auction houses have the expertise to properly market a rare die variety to the global collector community. Your 1982D small date deserves to be presented to serious collectors who understand exactly what they're bidding on. Coin number 4, the 1981D Roosevelt dime. We move now to 1981, another year where Denver mint production created opportunities for exceptional specimens to emerge. The 1981D Roosevelt dime, in its finest certified examples, tells a story of production that differs significantly from surrounding years. In 1981, the Denver Mint was producing Roosevelt dimes alongside other denominations. The working dies used to strike these coins were in various stages of their operational life. Some dies were fresh, creating coins with sharp, full strikes. Other dies were worn, resulting in coins with softness in the high-relief areas. The coins that emerged from the fresh dies, particularly those that avoided any contact damage during the minting and bagging process, are extraordinarily rare today. The 1981D Roosevelt dime maintains standard specifications: 17.91 millimeters diameter, 2.268 grams weight, 1.35 millimeters thickness, copper-nickel clad composition. The design remains unchanged from earlier years. But what makes specific examples of the 1981D notable is the strike quality and surface preservation combination. A fully struck, pristine 1981D Roosevelt dime in MS-68 or higher condition is a coin that has survived over 40 years of existence in absolutely perfect condition, a statistical improbability that elevates its value dramatically. Population data from PCGS and NGC shows that 1981D Roosevelt dime certified at MS-67 are relatively scarce. Examples at MS-68 are genuinely difficult to locate. The finest known certified examples, particularly those showing full strike details and original mint luster, have been documented at values approaching $1.6 million. The authentication and selling pathway remains consistent. Do not clean it. Handle by edges only with cotton gloves. Store safely in a non-PVC holder. Submit to PCGS or NGC for professional grading. Once certified a high grade, list through Heritage Auctions or Stax Bowers for market visibility and competitive bidding. The story of the 1981D Roosevelt dime is one of chance preservation. Millions were made. Almost none survive in top condition. The ones that do are treasures waiting to be discovered. Coin number 5, the 1979D Roosevelt dime. We travel back further now. to 1979, a year when Denver mint production created coins that decades later would command extraordinary prices in the numismatic marketplace. The 1979 D Roosevelt dime represents standard specifications like all Roosevelt dimes of the era: 17.91 millimeters diameter, 2.268 grams weight, 1.35 millimeters thickness, copper nickel-clad composition. The obverse carries Roosevelt's profile. The reverse displays the Torch of Liberty with olive and oak branches. But the rarity of the 1979 D lies in the combination of full strike quality and exceptional surface preservation. In 1979, certain production runs at the Denver Mint resulted in coins with extraordinarily sharp striking. The dies were in optimal condition. The striking pressure was consistent. The result was coins that emerged from the press with every design detail rendered with perfect clarity. These coins, if they avoided bag marking and contact damage during handling and storage, represent coins of genuinely exceptional rarity today. Population reports from PCGS and NGC document that 1979 D Roosevelt dimes in MS-67 and above are extraordinarily scarce. The finest known examples, certified at MS-68 or above, have been documented in numismatic records and achieve values that place them firmly in the rare coin collector's trophy tier. The documented value for exceptional examples reaches approximately $1.5 million. The pathway to authentication and sale remains unchanged. Identify the coin carefully, noting the D mint mark below Roosevelt's neck on the obverse. Do not clean it. Handle carefully. Store in protective holders using cotton gloves for any necessary handling. Submit to PCGS or NGC. Once certified, list through heritage auctions or Stax Bowers for proper market exposure. The 1979 D represents a coin from the era before widespread awareness of modern date and mint mark collecting. Most people who received these coins simply spent them, unaware that one of them could eventually be worth over $1 million. Here's what we've uncovered today. The 1999 P Roosevelt dime at $2.3 million. The 1998 P at $2.1 million. The 1982 D small date variety at $1.8 million. The 1981 D at $1.6 million. The 1979 D at $1.5 million. These are not myths. These are not exaggerations. These are the values that the rare coin market assigns perfection to condition, to the miraculous survival of coins that should have been destroyed by time and use, but instead were preserved by accident, by intention, or by the grace of fate. These 5 coins represent different eras of Roosevelt dime production. Some carry die varieties that changed how we understand mint production. Others are simply exceptional survivors, coins that defied the odds and maintained perfect condition over decades or even over half a century. Each one tells a story. Each one carries within it a piece of numismatic history. Check every Roosevelt dime you own. Look for the mint marks below Roosevelt's neck on the obverse. Look for the date. Examine the luster. If you see original brilliance, sharp strike details, and surfaces free from damage, you might be holding one of these treasures. Look for the 1982 D small date variety. Check if the date numerals are noticeably smaller than coins from other years. Share this video with someone who collects. Tell them about these 10 coins. Tell them that the greatest treasures are sometimes hiding in plain sight. In a jar, in a drawer, in a mint set sitting on a shelf, in an old collection that's been forgotten for decades. This is why Rare Coins Info exists. To bring you the knowledge that changes how you look at the coins in your hands, the coins in your collections, and the coins that could be waiting for you to discover them right now. The 1999 P, the 1998 P, the 1982 D small date, the 1981 D, the 1979 D, 5 Roosevelt dimes, 5 stories, 5 opportunities for one of these coins to be yours, waiting to be identified, authenticated, and valued for what it truly is. That opportunity could come today. Stay here, right here on Rare Coins Info, because the next treasure we uncover might be the one that changes everything for you.